Well, hello there. This is going to be a very short tutorial. Let's get this quickly. So it's going to be about how you can render out this image out of Substance 3D Painter. Well, you can actually share your texture files with me, but that is not going to make much sense because then I will have to add your model and then your textures into Maya or Substance 3D Painter to visualize your model. But instead of that, we can quickly render out quality images out of Substance 3D Painter. So assume that you're done with your work and you want to get images out of this thing. Go to Mode and switch it to Rendering Array. Okay? So Array will take its time. It's going to say warming up around here somewhere, bottom right corner, and it's going to come up with an image. It's not going to be this image. It's going to come with a background. So let me go to the environment settings. It's going to give you something like this. Okay, the original settings are good enough. Minimum samples 5, maximum samples 1000. This is good enough. Okay, let's not override the viewport resolution yet. It's going to give you something like this. Okay, so the environment will change the lighting quality. It's going to change the color of the light. Basically, you can go with warmer colors like sunlight or daylight, or you can go with colder tones like studio setups, and you can adjust all of those settings from here. Let me see. Yeah, from the environment map at the very top, go to this menu in the display settings, environment settings. You can select some environment maps. For example, you can get a studio setup like this with bright neon colors, or aerial photo over the clouds, some like this, or you can go with neutral tones of studio setups such as this. Whichever one you pick, it's going to depend on you. You can go with anything. Whichever color scheme or whichever lighting scheme represents your kind of work most accurately in terms of feeling, in terms of atmosphere, go with that. But in addition to that, we don't want to see the background. Like the shipping container is too small in this kind of an environment, right? So we don't want to see the environment itself. And after selecting the environment, and obviously you can adjust its exposure as well, and you don't have to play with the exposure, but you can rotate it to get the best light. For example, this is good, I believe. Decide on these kinds of things and then switch it to clear color. Okay, just a gray background is good enough, and you can also have a ground plane such as this, and you can adjust the ground plane as well, but you don't have to. Let's zero this out. Okay, I mean, it's a little bit flying right now, but I think it's okay. Or maybe, yeah, the Y is up like Maya, not the Z. I mean, you will have to adjust it to, I mean, right now the object's pivot position is red as in the middle because Substance 3D Painter resets the pivot position to the middle of the object, and we don't care about that because we are never going to use Substance's understanding of this object as a future reference, but we're going to use our own object settings as we exported it out of Maya. So we don't care about this, but the thing is, that's why this ground, when it's at 0, instead of being at the bottom of the object, it is right in the middle. So you can actually set this up exactly halfway. And what was the height of this object? Let's try to remember, like 208 or something. So minus 104, maybe a bit more. I think it was a hell of a lot more. I think we are almost there. Yeah. Yeah, minus 130 is good, I believe. Yeah. So minus 130 will give you a 0 level. Okay? Or you can keep it flying, no worries, but just clear the color in the background, decide on the panorama, decide on the environment map, and also decide on its rotation, and that's about it really. Finally, you can override the viewport resolution, override it to 1920 by 1080, which is, as you already know, HD resolution, full HD resolution. Set up your camera and save the render as a JPEG file, and that's about it. And I want 4 renders out of this thing, like at least 4 renders. I mean, if there is a particularly interesting work on the side, you can take out a render such as this. Okay, but I want to see the back, and I want to see the side, something like this angle, and something like this angle, and something like this angle, all from 4 corners. Basically from 4 corners of this object, get at least 4 renders. And iRay is a real-time renderer, so you will see that it is incrementally increasing these iterations, and when it's done, when you're not moving the camera, it will keep doing its job, and when it's done rendering, it will say done. So wait for this to be done, because once you change the location of the camera, it will start the rendering process all over again. Okay, so depending on the power of your PC, this is going to take some time, so be patient, give it some time, make sure it does its job, and when it's done, just click save render, and there you go. That's about it. And I expect to see good renders out of every single one of your works. Okay, see you next time. Bye bye.